coming to you live this week from the Beltline in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm your host, Kelly Boston, and if you think you're a normal person, welcome to the Normal Person Podcast.
Some people act like normal's a four-letter word, but most of us want to be normal. To sit and talk for a bit about it, whatever it is. Are you okay today to press play? Is there any other way to be normal?
This week, we're taking a deep inhale and putting on our unofficial therapist hat as we invite passing strangers to sit down and share their own personal strategies for relaxing when they're stressed out.
For the most part, yeah. I just like to have a glass of wine, dance around the house, and just listen to music and zone out.
Washing dishes is something that kind of relaxes me sometimes.
Sure.
I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm just concentrating on what I'm doing.
But I incorporate like a journal. I kind of write my thoughts down.
Okay.
And I try my best to stay consistent. I try to do like a page a day.
Yeah, I wait until my cats are sleeping so they don't do anything. And then I just close my eyes, put in like some 10-minute meditation music on YouTube, cross my fingers that it doesn't have any ads in between.
I play Fortnite, and that's also ironic because Fortnite is probably one of the most stressful games you can play.
Regardless of if you've already reached your personal relaxation nirvana, or if you're anything like me, wondering just how many milligrams of melatonin could actually kill you every single night, this week's episode dives deep into a wide array of relaxation techniques that may or may not help you in your own personal life. If you're still listening and find yourself in a stressful place or position at this very moment, I highly recommend you push pause and save this week's episode for a moment later in the week where you can sit back, relax, close your eyes, and truly listen. I suggest a bubble bath, but, do whatever you need to do. Now, I'll admit that our very first guest of the day helped me, and now hopefully you, listening, realize that finding the best ways to cope with stress come only when you're willing to be completely honest and accountable with yourself. I'll let him explain in his own words. Welcome to the Normal Person Podcast.
I'm grateful to be here.
First of all, who am I talking to?
You're talking to... I introduced myself as Kenneth, but my homies call me Dubz.
Okay. What do you want me to call you?
You call me Dubz.
Okay, I'll call you Dubz.
Yeah.
So what are you doing out on the Beltline today on this kind of gloomy, semi-cold, not kind of I don't know what to call this weather. I like it.
The fact that it's like this type of weather today just makes life even better.
Yeah.
For my sake and like my homegirl's sake, I'm with my homegirl right now. This is like the second time I've been here.
Okay.
But this is like her domain.
So this is your second time on the Beltline.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you based out of Atlanta?
No, I'm not. So I'm actually from Detroit, Michigan.
Okay, cool.
Ironically enough, November 3rd, so we're in the month of November right now. So November 3rd is I hit my first year living here.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I moved here November 3rd of last year.
Okay. What do you think so far?
You know how life goes, it's ups and downs left and right.
Sure.
And I love it. So I really love it here.
It's a pretty cool city.
Grateful.
Well, I'm glad that you're here. You're one of those people that I don't need to do a whole lot of icebreakers, you know?
No, not necessarily.
So how do you feel about jumping into the question?
Let's do it.
Cool. So I'm talking to people out here today because it's kind of like a personal journey of mine.
Absolutely.
Or a personal, what's the word I'm looking for? Ulterior motive. I'm sure the listeners of the podcast are going to love this episode, but for me, I'm in a very stressful point in my life. I'm about to move this week.
Yeah.
The general state of the world is stressful. And then I'm trying to think of other things that stress me out. My job.
Absolutely.
I work in marketing. I'm sorry to vent to you.
No,
Just
don't apologize. I got you.
But I guess all that being said, my point being is I have a hard time relaxing. This is relaxing to me, but I feel like I need other outlets, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm interested in talking to people and just hearing what do you do to relax when you're stressed out?
Absolutely. Number one, I appreciate you letting me know these things because you'd be surprised how many people actually can relate to how you feel in your situation. In relation to that, my first few months living here, I was with my brother, and he's already been living here.
Yeah.
What I do, every morning when I wake up, I kind of wake up early in the morning, but I incorporate a journal. I kind of write my thoughts down. Okay. And I try my best to stay consistent. I try to do a page a day.
Yeah.
And if I don't really stay consistent on that, whenever I do come back to journaling, I'll probably do a page or two.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just to really let everything out.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, while I do journal, I try to show as much gratitude as possible. I try to write down my desires, my wants, what I'm thriving for, just pretty much what I ultimately resonate with and what I want in life.
Okay.
But with that being said, just things to do. Like I also incorporate the gym in my life as well.
Okay.
And this year alone has been like the most I've stayed consistent out of the many times I've been in and out of the gym throughout like my 20s.
Sure.
Of my life.
Yeah. You feel like it's been consistent?
It's been way more consistent since I've lived out here in Atlanta. And I've seen a hell of a difference mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. It's like a mindset thing. So when you had said about you moving very soon and just being stressed out about work and stuff, that's just a part of life, right? You have to embrace it. You have to look at see the positive in what you're experiencing, but don't take in any of the negative that may alter how you feel or alter how you move and what you think about.
Use it to make decisions.
Absolutely. So you getting ready to move, more so approach it in the perspective of this is like a new chapter of your life. Yeah. It's new opportunity. You don't it's like unpredictable on what's gonna happen, but you gotta put your energy towards not knowing what is going to happen, but put your energies towards like the positive interactions of meeting new people, right? Finding yourself a little bit more. Yeah. It's a whole lot that can happen.
It's a mindset thing.
It's a mindset thing. It's a life. This game that is this life that we are living is like a game. It's all about your mindset at the end of the day. So yes, things are stressful, but
how you choose to react to it, I guess.
How you choose to react to it plays a huge part. And also what helps me with those type of thoughts is that I just try to see or be mindful of the things that I'm grateful for, what I do have versus what I don't have, where I'm not at from where I thought I would be at a few years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so I want to backtrack a little bit to some of the things that you said just to kind of dive a little deeper. Yeah. The journaling and the working out. Let's talk about the journaling first, because you're the first person that's brought that up. Yeah. You said you try to do maybe, obviously, like there's days you forget or days that you do longer, but you said about a page a day. Yeah. Journaling. When you wake up in the morning, what would you say is your objective when you're writing? Like, what are you trying to release in that?
Like the greatest form of gratitude of my position and where I'm at and me being here. Okay.
So almost like reinforcing kind of the...
It's like a reinforcing to start off. Like I am a believer of God. I am a believer of a creator. But it really starts off with me saying, Lord God, thank you for waking me up this morning to another beautiful day. Whether it be a day that looks like this or it's a sunny day, this is a beautiful day to me.
It's a very beautiful day for me.
And then from that, I stem off of like giving my grace and my gratitude into like also seeking forgiveness from like the uneven thoughts and the uneven parts of my decisions that I make in my life. And you feel me? So it's what you are. It's an outlet that you are able to practice to like release a lot of stress, to be honest.
Yeah. And so it gives you a release, you would say. Okay.
Absolutely.
Do you ever write about things that are stressing you out, or is it more of a gratitude focused thing?
Not just with the gratitude. I write a little bit about everything that's just on my mind, and I write about the things that I desire, the things that I want. I like on a manifestation type of thing. Yeah. And with the amount of time that I've been practicing this, I've been seeing results.
Oh, okay. Actually, I wanted to also ask you too, working out.
Yeah.
Okay. This is something that I've slacked on in the last few years because I started a work from home job, and so it's been really easy. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize it was my cue to do the next voiceover segment. I was actually starting to write my very first paragraph in my new personal journal, just like our new friend suggested. Now I'm starting to get a little stressed out about what to say next. If only there was a way to tune out my thoughts and really just focus on nothing for a few moments, you know? I actually just remembered our next guest of the day has the exact solution to this new problem I've just discovered. And if you yourself listening suffer from an anxious mind like me, then I think you'll find our new friend's meditation advice particularly interesting.
So, welcome to the Normal Person Podcast. Just so the audience knows, who am I talking to?
My name is Kenny.
Kenny. Kenny, what are you doing on the Beltline today?
I just got off work. I work right there at the hottest spot in Atlanta, 2 Urban Licks. Highly recommended for a nice out. Bring a shawty, bring a friend. Yeah.
Okay, what kind of, is it a bar? Is it a restaurant? Like,
more of a restaurant kind of thing. Okay. Very fancy. We sell octopus, which is...
Oh, I don't know when the last time I've had octopus, or ever. I don't think I've ever had it, actually.
Tried it for the first time when they had like leftovers.
Yeah. Great. So how long have you been working there?
Like a month and a half.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I'm an assistant server right now. Yeah, I'm trying to climb up the ranks and I'll get the server or bartender, whatever works.
Yeah, you got to do it. I was trying to guess if you're back of house or front of house, and I was like, I feel like you could fit in both places fairly well.
I've done both, so
because you're giving me the energy of both. Also, the energy of someone that's been in the service industry and is like, I can deal with some bullshit.
Yeah, the shine on the ice it's gone by now.
All right, so you work 2 Urban Licks, walking back from work. Do you live close?
Yeah, it's like a good 30-minute walk, and it's like this is I like to call it twilight weather, so it's perfect for me.
Yeah. No, you chose a great day.
Yeah,
great day. I'm glad that we pulled you off the street because I'm feeling like in some ways you're kind of like a alternate universe version of myself.
Yeah, I hope so, man. Yeah. The universe is aligning over here.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, there's gonna be some weird Marvel portal that opens up behind us. All right, so. Like I said, you're a very chill person. Usually you have to do a lot of icebreakers to get people in the mood, but how do you feel like just jumping right into the question?
I'll do it.
So you work, you have got a job, so I imagine at some point in your life you've had some stress, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So my big question today, talking to people on the Beltline, is what do you do to relax or de-stress?
De-stress... I mean, huge into music, so guitar is number one over there. That's the outlet for me, just like letting it out, doodling on that thing, writing anything. If anything comes out, it's like the moment strikes, and when I'm stressed, it's perfect because it's like 2 birds with 1 stone. I get to de-stress and I get to be creative too.
That's awesome.
Going on walks too. I love going on walks, especially after the summer since it's been really hot. I just like get out, enjoy the breezy weather out there. Meditation.
Okay.
Hugely into it, especially.
Really?
I mean, I got to do it more often because I only do it when I'm stressed.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I got to get back into it. And working out too. I started jogging again, and it's great.
Jogging and walking are kind of.
In the same. I think jogging is just like too intense. So like I got to save it for like
it's not casual. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not casual at all.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's a lot to break down there, but 2 things stuck out. The first one is music. But what would you say it is about? Because you mentioned that earlier in the interview, too, that you like to play music. What would you say it is about music specifically? Like, maybe to someone that isn't a musician, how would you describe it to them? Like, what is satisfying about it or relaxing?
I mean, it's just the best tool for self-expression, I'd say.
Okay.
So that's why I got into guitar. Like, I heard Jimi Hendrix, and I was like, okay, it was like feeling like a painter, grab his like brush and start to paint, but like in music form.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's great about music overall. Like, especially since you take like what other people have done and you make it your own. Yeah. That's what I try to do always. Just like grab inspirations, as many inspirations as I can, and then remix it. I'm like, how can I make it like a cocktail of me?
Okay.
And so that's the biggest thing for me about playing music at all is just like self-expression.
Okay. I didn't ask this earlier, but do you perform at all?
Try to get into it. Okay. I just came from Savannah, had a band there. We only played like 2 shows, 2 best nights of my life probably. Okay. So like I want to get back into that again.
Okay, cool. So if you're anyone listening right now, you're in Atlanta, we've got a guitar, lead guitar maybe, right?
Yeah. These are the cameras, right? I need
that one's yours right there.
I need a drummer. And I need a bass player. I am calling you out, bro, please. I am desperate. I need to play music again. Come through, hit up my line. For the love of God. Thank you.
Thank you. And that would help you relax if you had a band. There was another thing you said, not walking. What was
Meditation?
The thing? Meditation. Okay, I want to talk about that because I can't do it.
Right.
I struggle with, I guess, disassociating with myself. So how do you meditate and what do you think are the benefits of it?
Wow, that's a really good question. I mean, meditate, honestly, I think my mind's constantly racing. Like it's nonstop. It always keeps going. It always keeps going. So I think meditation, it just gives you like the ability to just focus on your body.
Okay.
So it's just like closing your eyes and just think about what you're breathing. And it takes it's like a lot of work. I didn't
Can you we don't have to do a live meditating session together, but what do you do?
I mean, no, it's really simple. I mostly do it just laying down. I try to lay down in bed. I try to wait until
so you don't have to go into the Om position.
I mean, if you want to, I do it sometimes. I used to do it just to feel the zen. Feel like I was one with the universe. Sure. I just do it laying down because I have a bad back. So
okay.
I wait until my cats are sleeping so they don't do anything, and then I just close my eyes. I put in some 10-minute meditation music on YouTube.
Okay.
Cross my fingers that it doesn't have any ads in between.
It's going to.
Yeah,
it's good. There's going to be an ad somewhere.
Yeah. And that's what I do. Just close my eyes and then I start breathing. And then, of course, the thoughts always come through all the time, especially the first 3 minutes out of a 10-minute meditation.
Yeah.
They'll happen. But after that, once you're you tell your brain constantly, it's just breathing right now.
So you just focus on breathing.
Yeah. It all goes black for me out of walking. It's just very nice because all I got to worry about is the rhythm of my own breath.
Okay, well, I need to maybe try this. I guess the follow-up to that is when you finish, what do you feel?
I will say that I love how our new friend Kenny turns to music to relax after a long day's work. There's nothing like finding a creative endeavor to help you get your mind off of life stresses at the end of the day. Music, painting, crocheting, skydiving, whatever gets your mind off of the stresses, you should really try to do it. But what if your actual day job is also the creative hobby you love to enjoy? I'll let our next guests, Peter and Raquel, explain more.
Yeah, I'm stressed out going into this. Maybe this interview should help.
Don't worry about it. You're good.
All right, so I'm going to ask y'all some questions. I already did, but first of all, thanks for being on the Normal Person podcast. Who am I talking to?
I'm Raquel.
And I'm Peter.
Raquel and Peter. Well, I'm just simply asking people, and it's kind of a selfish mission of mine right now because I'm in the middle of a move. My lease ends on Friday. I'm moving into a new place Thursday.
Oh, nice.
Current events have been stressful for a lot of people. And then, also my job is picking up. I work in marketing. So I'm just kind of stressed TF out right now. And I just want to know from other people what they do to relax when they're stressed. So I kind of want to open it up. What is y'all's relaxation routine? And what do you do?
The routine?
Maybe not a routine. That's a bad way to put it. How do you relax, just in general?
You want to go first with me?
All right. So I don't tell people this too much.
It's an audio format, so we can keep it anonymous if you want to.
No, it doesn't have to be, but I listen to music and I dance around the house.
Oh, why are you embarrassed about that? That's awesome.
Because I really be going in.
Well, okay, actually, hold up. What kind of music is it? Because that kind of defines if it's going to be a weird situation or not.
No,
dancing around the metal is crazy.
Yeah,
right. Just no. So I'm Jamaican, so I listen to a lot of reggae and soca.
Okay.
So and then I'll maybe go into some hip hop or R&B, but for the most part, I just like to have a glass of wine, dance around the house, and just listen to music and zone out for a while.
First of all, not weird. Very normal thing to do. Most people do this. It's cool that you're admitting it because most people don't. But what kind of dancing are we talking about? Because, some people say that they dance and it's just kind of moving around, or is it choreographed, or is this?
It depends on the song,
Okay.
Because there's certain songs that have music videos and you might remember the dance.
Sure.
And it's
You're doing the full choreo?
Full choreo. Especially if a Sean Paul song. Come on,
just give me the light.
That's fact.
Right? It's kind of moving around, but because I'm Caribbean, I whine, of course, most of the time, but I just be having a good time. Sometimes I'm just being silly. My son is probably like, Ma, sit down. But
so you do it in front of people, no shame. I love that.
My family. Only my family. They witness the madness.
All right, I'm gonna put a pause because I've got follow-up questions that both of y'all can address, but I want to hear from you. What do you do to relax?
So most of my relaxation techniques are kind of ironic because I am in music. I'm a full-time musician.
Sure.
So what stresses me out the most is the same thing that calms me down, which is playing.
That's a weird dynamic.
It is because it's I can't get this passage, let me play something else and then I'm fine. It's kind of like remember who you are type of
yeah.
But I was like, I'm good. But other than that, I play Fortnite, and that's also ironic because Fortnite is probably one of the most stressful games you can play.
Oh my gosh, do you build or no build?
I have won and I always bring this up just because it's such a flex for me. I have won only one ranked build match.
Okay.
Like
Victory
I had
Royale.
Like 21 kills.
That's crazy.
It's never happened again. Other than that, I only play
You were in
build.
the zone.
I only play zero build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zero build is where it's at.
Yeah,
And
it
anyone
is.
listening to this podcast already knows that because they're cool. You know?
Exactly.
The build
I don't
people,
know.
they're on a
Zero
different
build for the
podcast.
win.
I never played Fortnite.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Okay, I've got a question for both of y'all. Kind of anyone that wants to chime in, or both of y'all can talk at the same time. But with these activities, so you like to dance and you like to play music, but obviously that's your job. So like sometimes you want to escape that when you do it's Fortnite.
Yeah.
So for both of y'all, people listening that don't do these activities, what would you say is the feeling or the release that you get from doing it?
Okay, so I guess for the music side, it's just really freeing because different, there are studies that show that different frequencies, make you react in different ways.
Sure.
And a lot of times those combinations of frequencies can calm you down, certain ways that you can't get anywhere else. But also with the Fortnite side, the real reason it's calming to me is because me and some of my friends have kind of built a community. Because I found out I have ADHD, my mind is absolutely everywhere.
Yeah.
So it helps me relax when I'm able to focus on one singular thing.
Yeah. Objective.
Yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Like just getting down to that one like singular moment is like
Yeah.
solid.
And then the hours pass by and you're like,
Right.
I didn't have to think about the thing that was stressing me
See,
out.
the millions of
Yeah.
other stuff.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I might have to hit you up on Fortnite.
Let's do it.
What about you? What would you say to someone that's never just tried to blast music and dance around? You didn't say in your underwear, but that's like usually
It's a given.
That's how I do it,
Right.
personally. But to someone that's never tried it, like, what would you say? Like, why should they try it right now? Pause the podcast and go try dancing because of this.
Because because you should move your body. That's number one. And why not moving your body? Listen to something that you like. There's so many different types of music, and all different types of music invoke different emotion. And I think that's really the best part about it. Like, I can listen to sad songs and still dance around. You know what I mean?
That's
it doesn't
true.
really matter. I just think that when you like music a lot, when you like something like that, it's just, there's just too many types to just not even just let yourself go and really feel
Yeah.
it and just enjoy it.
Yeah, I love that. And then
If there's one thing everyone can agree about, it's that there's nothing quite like dancing to your favorite music in the comfort of your own home. But if you want something to do that's actually fun, try dancing to the Normal Person podcast on full blast in your underwear. I swear, just try it. I promise. Anyways, just like our new friend, Peter and Raquel, our next guests use dance and games to relax. But they also have an interesting laundry list of other de-stressing techniques that, as the son of a therapist, I can honestly say I've never heard of before.
who I am. My name's Kelly, by the way. And this is the Normal Person podcast, where we just talk to people, anyone that wants to come up. And y'all seemed interested, and I said, hey, do you want to be on it? And then you're like, yeah. So thank you for sitting down with me. First of all, what's y'all's names?
My name is Sarah.
Sarah?
I'm
in Spanish.
Mariana. Yeah.
Okay, Sarah and Mariana.
We're cousins.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. So what are y'all doing on the Beltline today? It's kind of gloomy. I know this is
It
an
is.
audio format, but it's a little gloomy outside for those listening. It's like I personally I am enjoying it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what brings y'all to the Beltline today?
Please
Okay.
go ahead.
No, I love that you were the one that wanted to be in.
Yeah.
And I'm the one that needs to tell the story. So I live here. I moved here about a year and a half ago. So I'm still kind of new,
Okay.
but she's visiting. We're both from Costa Rica.
Oh,
And
nice.
I thought I would show her, one of the things I like the most about Atlanta, which is the fall line and
It's
everybody on it.
It is an amazing spot.
I'm enjoying it a lot.
Well,
It's
okay,
sad.
y'all said, and I want to ask this before we jump into the main question, but you're from Costa Rica.
Yes.
Are you from Costa
Yes.
Rica? One question I have is, what brings you to the U.S.?
Okay. My husband just got a job here about a year and a half ago.
Cool,
So I moved
cool.
with him. Yep.
Were you just living full time in Costa Rica before
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
What is the culture shift like? What do you
It's
what do you think?
definitely a culture shock.
Okay. And just for someone listening, what's one good thing that surprised you and one bad thing that
Okay.
surprised you?
I think bad thing, the amount of plastic and cardboard. So in Costa Rica, we're all proud like of being super green.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not like it's not true for everyone. It's not perfect, but we're like a really green. We're trying to be green country, so everybody recycles and everybody's like super careful about those kind of things.
That's crazy. I've never even heard like that's an initiative in Costa Rica before.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
We sell that image,
image
as well.
Yeah, that's like
that.
our brand.
Yeah.
And it works. I mean,
Well, you know, as you know, and my from someone that's grown up in the U.S., our bad thing is we don't understand the world outside of our own culture.
Yeah.
So I was like, when you said that's our initiative, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I've never heard of that. Oh, but that's also because no one teaches us anything. So waste and like recycling and going green is something that you're like, wow, the U.S. is really behind on that.
Yeah.
I
the
know
amount they use for like tiny things. I'm thinking about Amazon, you guys. Like
Oof. I visit.
No, you're fine.
I visit friends in the U.S. a lot, and it's always something that shocks me, like the amount of plastic bags and plastic
Just, like,
everything.
bottles or
It just freaks me out.
I don't want to hold up too much of y'all's time. Thanks again for sitting down. How do y'all feel about jumping into the main question today?
Okay.
Cool.
I haven't thought about it, but yes.
No, that's totally fine. All of this conversation we just had was to distract you from it.
Yeah,
on
to
purpose,
relax me.
It is, yeah. Well, that's a good segue because I want to get to know what people do to relax.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with a therapist as a mom.
Oh, wow.
And this is my he's sat through every episode with me, and it's like at least once in an episode I'll mention that. But I've always had all these little, here's a stress ball, here you need to meditate, blah 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 blah. I have a hard time relaxing because I think anything that seems like therapy, I push it away instinctually. So I'm really just interested in like what people do to relax. Everyone's different. Everyone I've talked to today has had a different answer.
Okay.
Whoever wants to go first. How do you feel?
I think I'm ready.
Let's do it. So what do you do?
Breathe. Breathe actually.
Breathing?
That's one thing I do to relax.
In what way?
Like more consciously and deeply sería. Not so shallow, instead of slowly and like maybe count to 8 and then back down to 8, like from 8.
So like deep breathings.
Yeah. To slow down my heartbeat first, if I'm really stressed or angry, maybe.
Yeah.
But mostly I think what I do is maybe activities that make me be in the moment. That's kind of like meditating. That's what I think, like meditating, but without actually like trying to put my mind in blank.
Yeah.
So washing dishes is something that kind of relaxes me sometimes.
Sure.
Because I'm not really I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm just concentrating on what I'm doing. Painting.
Okay.
I also dance.
Okay.
That's sometimes not too relaxing.
Sure, but in some ways it can be.
But yes,
yeah.
it
helping, like you
relaxes
said,
me.
like getting your mind off of things.
Sometimes I listen to ASMR.
Yeah, that's right.
Sounds of keyboard.
It's a made up
sounds.
word, but yeah.
Yeah.
ASMR, yeah.
I don't know what that means though, but yes.
It's
okay.
Like I said, it's made up, but it's the sounds of things. And also it gets a little blended with the satisfying videos. I don't know if y'all are on TikTok. Anywhere on the internet, you'll see a video of someone, squeezing like Play-Doh, and it'll be like ASMR, but that's not ASMR.
Okay.
ASMR is the sounds. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's just relaxing content.
Yeah, I like keyboard sounds.
Like typing?
Yeah. I don't know why, but
you should really invest in some of those keyboards, the clackety, whatever, the ones that make it, because I feel like it would relax you a lot.
Where I work, the guy who sits next to me, he has one of those, I think it's mechanical keyboard.
Yeah.
And it sounds so good.
And you're just falling asleep. Yeah.
Luckily, no, but I really like the sound.
Wow, that is nice. Okay,
yeah.
so listening to relaxing sounds, and then what were you about to say?
No, I'll think of more if you have something to say.
Well, I've got some
Maybe.
follow-ups.
Okay,
We don't have to do a laundry list. They're like I like what you said. Those are great answers. And
Okay.
let me put a pause in that, and I'm going to ask you, and then I'll ask some questions for both of y'all.
Okay.
I'm still thinking because I don't know if it's the same like as de-stressing or relaxing.
Thank you for saying that, because I was when I wrote the question today, I kind of was between both of them, and and I could be wrong, but my thought was de-stressing has this
connotation
Negative,
that like
yeah.
you're going to relieve the stress, whereas relaxing is like the stress is still going to be there. You're just getting your mind off of it.
Yes.
So it could go both ways if you're listening. De-stress and relaxing, it's interchangeable, but don't think of them. Don't try to separate it. Like in your mind, when you're stressed out, what do you do to get your mind off of it?
Because I was going to say, like, I love yelling into a pillow.
Oh.
But that is not going to necessarily make me feel relaxed, but
Sure.
it will definitely de-stress me.
Yeah,
It'll
yeah,
definitely,
yeah.
like
An immediate
exactly,
hit of
release.
yeah.
So if I'm feeling overwhelmed or really stressed, I just yell into a pillow if there's one, or just yell.
Yeah.
I do yell too.
Yeah.
sometimes.
Just
No, I do that too, but in my car.
in my car too.
Like,
yeah. And then
Sometimes I just hope that someone sees me from a distance and they're just like, what is going on?
I'm not going anywhere near
Okay, so yelling in a pillow, but what about like
but just like in general, like
something what
relaxing.
do you use to get your mind off of things?
Exactly, yeah. I like painting as well, just like I'm a very creative person, but I don't know if painting is like the outlet. I don't know, like my hands. I'm a graphic designer.
Oh, cool.
So I'm good at computers, but haven't really developed like the drawing part of it, like doing it by hand.
Yeah.
So I've been doing paint by numbers, and I love that. The fact that I don't have to think of what I'm doing.
You get the satisfying.
Yeah, you get the satisfaction. You get the like little movements. I don't know, like of painting and the color or whatever.
Yeah.
But you don't have to think about it. It's just the action of colors and painting and following.
And that keeps your hands busy and away from a phone, which is important because that will stress you out.
That will definitely stress you out.
Okay.
So yeah.
I think going for walks is
And
also
then
really
exercise
nice.
of course always.
Exercise.
Is gonna keep you relaxed,
Yeah.
Swimming.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Some follow-ups to both of those.
Yeah.
But let's just imagine like someone listening to this is thinking like, okay, I've never. If there's anything you've learned from today's episode, I hope that you'll try screaming in your car at least once. I promise. Once you get past the weird looks you get in the Kroger parking lot, it actually becomes pretty therapeutic, if I do say so myself. It looks like we have time for just one more guest today. And, per usual, I saved one of my favorite interviews of this recording session for last. Like many of the normal people you've heard today, our next guest also finds the act of creating things to be relaxing. But he also recognizes that like many things in life, there always needs to be a balance between self-care and accountability. Okay, first of all, what's your name?
My name is Dami.
Dami? And Dami, what are you doing on the Beltline today?
My girlfriend just lost her keys.
Oh.
We were playing Frisbee, so we used some scooters to try to find the keys, and I found out that my little brother doesn't know how to ride a scooter.
Oh, okay.
And
very
he's about
interesting
15 years old. He's about 6'4".
Okay.
So seeing a 6'4" guy struggle on an electric scooter is a sight that, money couldn't pay for.
If it makes you feel better, also he's watching us record this right now behind the cameras, but if it makes you feel better, we shoot on the Beltline all the time, and I see a wreck at least 2 times a recording. So everyone, you're not the only one, you know what I mean? So y'all are out here. It's a little, I know this is an audio format, it's a little gloomy today, but also I'm kind of loving it because it's like the first fall weekend for me.
Best time to film when it's gloomy.
It is. And you know that because
Yeah,
you were telling me off camera that you actually make your own content. You want to tell me about that really quick?
Yeah, so I created a deep question card game called Substance.
Okay.
You can Google Substance card game online. It'll pop up.
You created the card game?
I created the card game.
Wow, that's actually really impressive.
Yeah, and I so basically what I do is I go around the streets of Atlanta and interview people questions from the card game.
That's so awesome. Where can people find it? Like on social media or online?
Just Google Substance Card Game and everything will pop up.
Okay.
Shout out to Substance Card Game.
We'll plug it in the show notes.
Oh, and also we're on Amazon now.
Oh,
shout out to my girlfriend.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff Bezos. Hopefully the mention here will get you bumped up on the pages. Yeah. All right. Well, I know y'all are en route to do something. Like I said, these interviews are usually about 15 minutes. So how do you feel about jumping right into the question today?
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready for anything.
How do you relax when you get overwhelmed or stressed out?
How do I relax?
Yeah.
I put my apartment at approximately 66 degrees.
Okay. Specifically. Okay.
Shout out to my girlfriend who's always changing the thermostat. I like to put on probably the game. Turn on the game.
What game?
2K.
Okay.
2K. Shout out to every black man ever who plays 2K. I like to edit my videos,
Yes.
just because, why not, find a way to pay rent.
And also, you'd be surprised at how much time is wasted when you edit.
I know, yeah. I like to edit, and I also like to just brainstorm, think of what to do. I'm a person who also always thinks of what's next. You know what I mean? Like, I never want to work a day in my life. And how I do that is finding ways to monetize my dream. So I just keep dreaming, and some way, somehow, I'll make it.
Yeah. No, I love that. Honestly, very inspired. Like, if I had your energy when I was 23, I wouldn't be... Well, I probably would still be out here.
Yeah, I know, right? You're chasing your dream now.
Yeah.
So.
But I was going to say, I wanted to dig deep into the brainstorming aspect a little bit, because you're a fellow creative. Mm-hmm. You like to make things, create things. It helps you relax, would you say? Like, kind of like putting your head in that space, in the creation space.
Yeah, finding something to do with my thoughts.
Yeah. So for the audience, what are some good exercises in creativity, I guess, that you do? Like, if you're like, I just want to get my mind off of this, like, I need to organize my thoughts. What's step one?
Step one, thinking about what you're doing. What are you doing right now in life? Is it making you happy? For most people, the answer is no.
Yep.
So people, they think of a million different techniques on how to do this, that, and the third. Quite literally, it's very simple. Think about what makes you happy. Find a way to monetize that.
Okay.
Happiness.
Would you say, like, monetizing things, even if you don't get, like, filthy rich, but monetizing it, like, you think that helps you in the creative process?
Well, not necessarily. The creative process, well, it does help me in a way in the creative process, because I'm also thinking what worked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people think of the creative process, they think because what I'm doing right now isn't working, then it's a shit idea. A guy I interviewed once told me, if what you're doing isn't working, don't change the goal, change the plan to get to that goal. You know what I mean? So it's more so about figuring out how to make it work.
Yeah, there's always a thousand paths that lead to the same outcome.
Exactly. So.
And you probably know that from, what do you edit on? Adobe?
Premiere freaking Pro.
Yeah, so
Screw you guys. I'm joking.
No, I know. That is literally the definition of 1,000 paths to the same outcome. A few more follow-up questions to that. For someone listening to this right now, if they feel like they related to you in any way, like, what would any advice you would give them in terms of, like, relaxing, getting their mind off of things?
Pace yourself. That's what I would tell them. I feel like life is about balance. If you work too much, you'll burn out. If you don't work at all, you won't do anything or become anything or be able to make any money, I guess. So it's all about balance, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, if you worked your ass off Monday through Friday, maybe take the weekend off, take a walk in the park, play, go exercise, go play sports you played growing up, you know what I mean? But if you also, the whole week, maybe lock in the next one. You know what I mean? So being real with yourself. Being accountable and being present of what's happening. Because sometimes you got to work for a really, really long time without any breaks. But once you get that reward, that's when you, take a week, take a couple of days off. You know what I mean? So just even if it's like something as simple as you worked hard at something for an hour or two and it's not working, it's becoming frustrating, maybe take an hour break and just not use your brain for a second, come back to it when it makes more sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So pace yourself.
Okay, I love that. So you're saying, like...
And that's a wrap for episode 20 of the Normal Person Podcast, where we've invited passing strangers to take a pause from their usual hustle and bustle on Atlanta's Beltline and share their own personal anecdotes and experiences for relaxing when they're stressed. A special thanks again to all the guests who sat down with me today and shared their own personal anecdotes and experiences when it comes to relaxing. And a big thanks to you, the listener, for tuning in to another episode of the show. If you enjoyed this week's episode, please consider leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts or rating us on Spotify. And be sure to follow us wherever you're listening so you never miss out on a new episode. Until next week, I'm your host, Kelly Boston. Try to take a moment to relax, even if it's just for a few moments. I promise it helps. We'll see you next week.